Okay. Sorry about that. That's a technical problem. Now, in this form, you just fill in like a usual agreement of purchase and sale for condominium. You fill in the buyer's name, assignee, the assignor's name, according to the original agreement of purchase and sale, and the location. Now, if you have the unit and level number, then you can fill in. If it's not yet ready, just leave it blank or put in NA. Okay. Condo plan number. That is the since it's not yet registered or not yet the construction not yet completed, so definitely you don't have the plan number here. Building number. You have the address. Put it down. Okay. And the parking space locker. Same thing. If you have it, put it. Otherwise, leave it blank. Purchase price, deposit. And now, if you're the buy agent, then put in the listing agent company here. Now, what I want you to look at are these printed in bold wordings. Now, these are quite important, and it's different from the other APS. Now, here what it says. Let's look at this. The assignee and assignor acknowledge that the purchase price noted above includes both the purchase price the assignor is paying for the property, as indicated in the APS, between the assignor and the seller of the property, attached here as Schedule C. The seller of the property means the developer, the builder, and also includes amount being paid by the assignee to the assignor as payment for the assignment agreement. This is the amount, this is the benefit, the profit the assignor made when he purchased the difference between this price and the original price on the agreement of purchase and sale with the builder. Now, the assignee and assignor agree that the funds for this transaction will be calculated and paid as set out in Schedule B, attached here, and forming part of this agreement. So now this standard agreement, involves two schedules. Apart from Schedule A that we add in the clauses, it already has a Schedule B and a Schedule C. Schedule B is a calculation of the funds. We'll look at it later. Schedule C is the original agreement of purchase and sale, the original APS between the assignor and the builder. Now, this is very, very important, okay? Make sure that if you're the listing agent, make sure that you go through that APS carefully. You have to go through it and see what are the restrictions, what are the requirements indicated in the APS. First thing you have to make sure is if the property can be assigned, okay? In some cases, although it's rare, but in some cases, builders may say, oh, there's no assignment. You cannot assign it until you close it, then you can sell it. Or maybe after occupancy, then they can, otherwise they won't allow any assignment. In that case, then you cannot put it on the market for sale for the assignor, for the seller. Also, there may be some other restriction there, like if they allow you to put it on the market for sale, they may say, hey, you cannot put it on MLS. You cannot put it on social media, something like that. So you have to be very, very careful. And then if they agree to let you assign, then definitely they will have a fee involved. So that is the consent fee, okay? And it is normally, currently, is paid by the assignor. So when assignor because the assignor has to approach the builder to get consent for the assignment. So the builder will charge the assignor. So normally it's the assignor, the seller, who will be involved in the expense for the assignment fee. Okay. So if you're the listing agent, when you want to get the listing, first thing you must go through the agreement and make sure that it can be assigned. Also, the other way is you can go into ML system, check the ML listing, see if the same property, same address, same property, any assignment for sale there. Then you can look at it and check and compare. Okay. But anyway, if you have problem, you have to approach the sales office and check it out carefully before you put it on the market for the seller, the assignor. Okay. Now, assignee agree to pay the balance as most particularly set out in schedule A and B. Okay. Now, so here schedule A, B, C, and here, because normally when you list a property, we have a standard schedule B to be inserted in the offer. So in this case, you have to change that schedule B to schedule D. Since there's already a B there, you cannot change this one because there's a built-in. B, there's a calculation of funds for this agreement. So when you want, as a listing agent, you want to attach our offer schedule B there, then you have to put down as schedule D. Okay. Now let's go on to page 2. In this particular agreement, we'll also go through some fine print clauses that are built-in clauses because they are quite different, and you may not find it in the other APS agreements. Okay, APS forms. Now let's look at here. Clause number 3, assignee covenants. Now, the buyer has to covenant something here. The assignee hereby covenants and agrees with assignor that forthwith upon the assignment of the APS, it will assume, perform, comply with, and be bounded by all applications, warrants, and representations of the assignor as contained in the agreement of purchase and sale, as if the assignee had originally executed the APS as buyer with the seller. So if the assignee, if this assignment is completed, then assignee will have to be bound by all the obligations, warrants indicated in the original APS with the builder. Everything you have to take up, assume everything, okay, as if the assignee were the buyer with the seller, which in this case is true, okay. Now, number 4, assignor covenants. Assignor, the seller, also have to covenant something, okay. Some are quite standard, like assignor has full right, power, and authority to assign the prior APS, okay, and assignor's interest in the property. That means he has to covenant that he has the power and authority to assign this thing, this original agreement of purchase and sale to the assignee. B, the APS attached to C is a full and complete copy thereof, and has not been amended, supplemented, terminated, or otherwise changed in any way, and is in good standing, and has not previously been assigned. So he has to covenant this original APS is the complete copy, and has not been amended. And if amended, then you have to attach the amendment to and the addendum. Everything you have to include in the Schedule C, okay? And then it has not been terminated or changed and must be in good standing and has not previously been assigned. This is only assignment, okay? Anyway, that should be okay because you have to get the consent from the builder. So if it's assigned, the builder will not give you the consent. That's not a big problem. Now, C, the assigner will not amend the agreement APS without the assignee's prior written consent. Okay? And once it's assigned, you cannot change anything there. Okay? D, after acceptance of the assignment agreement until the earlier termination or completion of the APS, the assigner will not further assign the agreement APS. So one is assigned and he cannot assign again, and this is okay because once you, as I said, once you've got the builder's consent, you cannot. There's no way he can assign again. Neither party to the APS has done any act in breach of the said APS or committing any omission with respect to the said APS. Okay, this is another standard one. Okay. Now let's go down C. Now number 6, HST. Now this thing you have to be careful. Okay. Now here it says if the sale of the property, that means if the sale of property from the builder to the assignor is subject to HST, then such tax shall be included or in addition to the purchase price. Okay. Now, normally when you purchase a pre-construction new home from the builder, you are aware that if you are for your own use, for your own residence, the builder will ask you to sign a form, declare that you purchase it for your own use. In that case, the HST will be included, because for new home, HST is required. Government will charge HST on new homes. So the builder will include that if it's for own purpose, for own use, because if it's for own use, the government will refund a portion of HST to the builder. The builder can get a portion back, so he's only subsidizing you a portion of HST. But anyway, it will be included in the purchase price. However, if you say that you are purchasing for investment purposes, then the builder has to add in the 13% HST on the purchase price. So you have to be very careful. So normally, if the assignor, say like if the assignor purchased it, and he has declared that he's purchased it for his own use, then the original price includes the HST already. So once it's assigned to you, then the builder may ask you, hey, you may have to sign the form again, the assignee, to confirm whether if it's for own use. Doesn't matter, no problem, right? Is it you say, oh, I'm going to purchase it for investment purpose, then upon assignment, the builder may charge you HST on that, because hey, look, you are now not for your own use; it's for investment purpose. So then that's why you have to be very careful. But as a buy agent, normally I suggest you put down included in. Okay. But as a listing agent, then you have to be very careful. You have to check with the buy agent, check with the buyer whether he's buying for his own use or investment purpose. They may affect the price. That is something that you have to be very careful. And if you have in doubt, I would suggest you consult the lawyer, okay, the seller's lawyer, or consult with the builder first, okay, as a listing agent. But as a buy agent, you just put in included in. Okay, now let's go to page 3. Page 3 now, section 15. Now let's look at this section 15. Approval of agreement. Now actually in this fine print, this clause also is regarding the consent from the builder. So actually it's built in already, but we'll add in again, because we have to determine the closing date. Okay, in this offer, we notice that there's no completion date. Okay, now approval of the agreement in the event that consent to the assignment is required to be given by the seller in the APS, which is normally the case. The assigner will apply. Now look at this. The assigner will apply at the sole expense of the assigner. So the assigner is responsible for the consent fee, for the requisite consent. And if such consent is refused, then this agreement shall be null and void. The deposit money paid herein shall be refunded without interest or other penalty to the assignee. So this is a condition here, okay? If you cannot get the consent from the builder, then this agreement will be null and void, with the deposit returned to the assignee. It's a building condition, okay? You do not find this in the other APS, only in this assignment, okay? And now look at 17. Now 17, this one, a lot of people are not aware of this. Now this is quite an important one. Now let's look at it. Default by seller. Now default by seller. What does it mean? That means, say, if the construction is not completed, sometimes the assignment may be at a very early stage, like it's a apartment building. The assignor purchased it after the budget, but the assignor purchased it, say within a year. That the construction may take 3 years. The approval in construction may take 3 years, which is quite normal. And then in the first year, the market goes up rapidly, and then the assigner made a profit. So he tried to sell the agreement to make the profit. In that case, the construction may even not start, or just with foundation, everything not built. So there's a possibility that after the assignment, if the market change or something happen with the approval from the city or the financing with the builder, then which eventually that the project has cannot be completed, so it's becoming a default by seller. That means the original agreement will be terminated because the project will not go on again. In the case, what happened? Now let's look at this. The assignee and assignor acknowledge and agree that if this assignment agreement is not completed due to the default of the seller for the APS, that is the subject of this assignment. The assignor shall not be liable for any expenses, losses, or damages incurred by the assignee, and this assignment shall become null and void, and all monies paid by the assignee under this shall be returned to the assignee in full without interest. So what happens if the builder cannot build it, and the project cannot be completed? Then, according to this clause, the assignee cannot sue the assigner for any liability, for any expenses he has spent. But then the assigner has to return all the money to the assignee. And this is quite interesting, because sometimes if the assigner has left the country and then no more here, then it would be quite difficult to get the money back. But anyway, this clause here to be you have to explain to your client very carefully, okay? The major when we go to Schedule B, then you know that the money paid to the assigner involves two parts. One is a deposit, and one is the profit that the assigner made. And the problem with the profit the assigner made once you transfer money to him, and it's quite difficult to get it back. This is the major issue. Okay, now let's go to, okay, these are the fine prints that I want you to pay more attention on it, okay, in this particular agreement. Now, page 4 is the execution page. That's quite standard. You know what to do, okay? And let's go to now page 5. Now this is the Schedule A, okay? These are let's look at these standard clauses. These are clauses that we put in for you for reference, okay? And they are quite general and involve most part of it. You can just and you can find it, as I said before, you can find it in the transaction templates folder, okay? And they are quite they should cover most of the requirement that as a buyer agent. Now these are for the buyer agent, okay, not for the listing agent. We act as the buyer agent. We try to protect the buyer, the assignee, not the assigner, okay? So these clauses are to the interest of the assignee. Now let's look into it. And now this is first thing is about the closing date, okay? As what we have mentioned about in the okay, in section 15 of the fine print, okay? Now here we put down the closing date. What we suggest is both parties acknowledge that this assignment transaction shall be complete on the third business day after the assignee's lawyer received the developer's written consent. It's a suggestion, okay? We put down 3 business days, which we consider should be enough for the buyer's lawyer to handle the paperwork. So once the assignee's lawyer, the buyer's lawyer, received the builder's consent, then he can go on. Within 3 business days, he should be ready to close the deal. Then we'll close the deal on the third business day. If in your case, if there's some particular requirement that you may not complete in 3 business days, then you can always change it to 1 week or something, as long as it fits into your particular case. Okay. Now this is a condition, as we said before. This assignment agreement is conditioned upon the assignor at the assignor's expense, okay, successfully obtaining the required consent from the developer within 30 days after acceptance of this agreement. Again, we try to put down 30 days about one time, which is generally a acceptable period. But if in your particular case, say if you check with the listing agent, and listing say, hey, this developer needs at least 2 months, 1 to 2 months to get the consent. In that case, then you have to change this to 60 days or whatever days fits into your case. Okay. So if it's not, if the consent is not obtained, then this offer shall be null and void. And we put down on the last sentence that both parties further agree that this condition shall be deemed automatically waived once the said consent is obtained. So this is to save your time. You don't have to prepare a waiver, okay? Once you get consent, this condition is waived automatically, okay? And the second one is the standard clause, okay, for the assigner, the assignee will deliver to the assigner, okay, balance of the purchase price, okay, subject to adjustments, of course, okay, including but not limited to any occupation fees involved, okay. Fund withdrawal. Why occupation fee? Because in some assignments, if it's at the very later say after occupancy and before registration, the assigner try to sell the unit. In this case, the assigner may have been paying occupancy fee already. The occupancy fee is on a monthly term basis. So if your closing date is in the middle of the month, then you have to do adjustment, just same as the maintenance fee in a condominium resale. You have to do adjustments, okay? Property tax is not in the adjustment amount because property tax is not yet ready by that time since the building is not yet registered. But on the occupancy fee, normally the builder will include the portion of property tax that you require to pay in there. So the occupancy fee has to be adjusted. Okay. Now the next one, assigner wants that she's in good standing, and the assigner is complete with this one. We have seen it in the fine print. Okay. So now the assigner hereby agrees to provide to the assignee all the documents received from the developer related to the purchase. So that means apart from the original APS, normally there are some addendums and then maybe some amendments or some other attachments. So everything you have to provide it, pass it to the assigner. Now, Next one, the assignor agrees to assign all of his rights, title, benefit, rebates, reimbursement, interest on the already APS to the assignee, including but not limited to all deposit paid by assignor to the developer up to the day before closing. And the assignee agreed to assume the obligation. These two are also, we have seen it in the fine print. We just try to make it clear, okay? So the assignor, the seller, has to pass all the rights, title, benefit, everything to them, including the deposit, because the assignor depends on when he's going to sell the property. He may have paid a portion of the deposit already, because in a new home purchase, deposit, the total deposit are to be paid by installments, maybe in 3 or 4 installments. So if he have paid all the deposit, then this deposit will be transferred to the assignee, becoming the assignee's property. So interest. So that is very important. That's why on the Schedule B, we have to pay this deposit back to the assignor, because he has paid already. And once the assignment consent is obtained from the builder, assignment is successful. That means everything, including all interest, title, rights, including deposit, will be transferred to the assignee. The deposit will become the assignees. So the assignor definitely has to take the money back. Otherwise, on paper, he has lost all the deposits. That's why this is quite important. Now, now here's a conditional clause again. This one, a standard one, you need, because the original agreement is very, very complicated and very thick. A lot of things inside there, okay? So you must have this, as a buyer agent, you must have this condition here to protect the assignee, your client. We need the assignee's lawyer approval on the terms on this assignment agreement and the original APS. So you must get a copy of the original APS, which is supposedly attached to the offer as Schedule C. But sometimes it's too thick and maybe they attach a few copies only. But once you get the assignment agreement accepted, with the offer accepted, you must get the full copy of the original APS and pass it to the assignee's lawyer for his scrutiny, for his approval, for his review, okay? This is very important. And normally we try to ask for 5 banking days, which should be enough for the lawyer to review this. This must be included in the offer, okay? Do not try to delete it. Okay. Now the other condition is again a standard one. This is for the mortgage, because the assignee may need a mortgage, and then when you're doing the getting the obtaining consent, of course the builder will need approval from the bank to make sure that you have the sufficient money to pay for upon final closing of the transaction. Same as the first original, the assigner, when he purchased the property from builder, he need the mortgage pre-approval form. Okay, same thing. So you need this one, unless you don't need a mortgage. Anyway, you just add in this or delete it, depending on your situation. Now the next one. Okay, now this one, in the event the assigner has already taken occupancy of the property, as we said before, if assignment was a late assignment after occupancy, then the assigner agrees to deliver the pre-delivery inspection document. We call it the PDI. Okay. Tenant warranty certificate and all keys related to the property to the assignee upon closing assignment. Assigner further agreed to deliver the property in a clean and debris-free condition. So since the occupancy has been taken, and then in some case it may be vacant, or maybe owner occupied, or maybe even rented out. Anyway, if the assignment is after occupancy, you have to make sure once they take the occupancy, you have to know the procedure. Once you take the occupancy, the assignor has inspected the property already for any defects, okay, and then he will have signed a pre-delivery inspection document. That's what we call PDI already with the sales office. He must have inspected the property thoroughly with anything defects. He mark it down because the builder may not remedy everything, repair everything right away, but he will repair it according to the PDI. So if you are purchasing the property at this stage, you must get the PDI from the assignor so that you know what defects are there, and then what defects has been rectified, have been fixed, what are still outstanding. Then you can check with the builder later on after closing of this assignment transaction. Okay, that because after that you deem to be the original owner already, builder owner already, the purchaser. Then you must make sure everything, and then you have to check the property according to the PDI. Okay, and tenant warranty, you get the certificate. Okay, now tenant warranty, tenant warranty normally goes with the property. Okay, goes with the property. Even you are, say, in a later stage after final closing, after registration, you find something wrong, and then you call the tenant warranty according to the warranty, ask them to fix, and then it will, as I said, the warranty goes with property. They will do it properly. Doesn't matter whether you are the owner of property, but the owner of the property, this warranty does not automatically transfer to the new owner, like you purchase it, because they don't know who is the owner. So normally, if you purchase a property and then you should you should inform the tenant warranty corporation that you have purchased property and you are now the owner of the property, and normally they will require you to send a agreement purchase sale to them so that they know, oh, you are now the owner, and then just for record purpose they know you owner. But even if you forgot that, and then they will still carry on with the warranty. It will not affect the warranty. As I said, it goes with the property. But the warranty starts once the property is occupied, not from the date of final registration, from the date of occupancy. Okay, the warranty is in effect from the date of occupancy of the property. Okay, and since the property is occupied, so we want the assigner to clean the property, to leave the delivered property in a clean and debris-free condition. Make sure everything is clean. Sometimes they may have, as I said, owner occupied or rented for a short time. Then you have to be very careful. Okay. Now this one, okay, the assignee's lawyer shall have the right to hold back his sum to be agreed by both parties, acting reasonably in his or her trust account for the adjustment of the assigned portion of property taxes arising prior to completion of the transaction, or for any unbilled supplementary taxes attached to this property. Mainly is the property tax. But property tax, so this one is to protect the assignee in case there are some outstanding property tax, because the property tax once start to calculate it, but there's still that portion before the assignment transaction. That portion belong to the assigner. Same as in a resale, a portion those outstanding property tax before the transaction should belong to the assigner. But in the case, it's not clear how much. So one way to withhold a certain amount, depends on the on the property is very expensive. You may need a larger amount. If it's only a average price property, then you take the approximate amount. The other way is for the buyer's lawyer to check with the city to find out where they can find out exactly how much it is. But sometimes the property may not have been assessed. If it's not assessed, then the city cannot tell you. If it's already assessed, then he can tell you exactly how much it's up to the closing, how much is that. But that, of course, the buyer's lawyer has to pay a fee for that. The buyer has to pay a fee for that. It's not free, okay? You need a certificate, and then if the property is assessed, the city can tell you. But if not yet assessed, in most cases, it's likely that it's not yet assessed. Then you cannot calculate the taxes. They cannot give you any figure. You have to wait until it's assessed. In that case, you may have to hold back your sum, okay? Okay, next one. Okay, they made. Okay, that's both parties perform their duties diligently. Okay, and then the other one also quite standard one. Assignor shall be reliable for costs and fees up to the day before closing of transaction, and assignees are liable for all the claims. This start from the date of closing. The date of closing belongs to the buyer, the assignee. So that's the fee. Now, the assignee covenant to pay all further deposits payable under the original agreement. In some cases, if the deposit installment by installment is not yet completed, say there are 40 installments, and the assignor only pay by the time up to the time of closing of the assignment transaction, he has paid 2 installments already. Then the assignee has to continue to pay the other 2 installments. Okay, the banking days. Okay, now let's look at the last page. Okay, last page. Now this one, optional clause. What is the optional clause? This I put it down for you in case you need it. If you do not need it, please delete it if not applicable. Okay, take this out when you're preparing the offer. Delete this one. Okay. This is in the case, say, like, of course, for buyers, for the buyer agent, for the buyer's benefit, it's best not to, as I explained to you before, the money to the pay to the assignor in this assignment transaction involve 2 parts. One part is the deposit that the assignor has paid to the builder, so you have to return to him. The other part is a profit that he has made during the period he purchased it and up to the day he sold the property. So this period he made a profit. The profit, now the deposit is protected by tenant warranty because the deposit is paid to the builder. Builder put it in a trust account. So it is protected, and then it is officially there. And also, in case something wrong with the builder, still covered by the tenant warranty to a certain amount. Okay, not because they have a limit. This you are okay. You can pay to the assignee upfront upon the assignment transaction, but the profit is a little bit risky. Okay, as I said, this profit is a profit made by the assignor. It's not involved in the original agreement. So once you pay to the assignor, if something wrong, then you may not be able to get it back. So of course, theoretically, the best way is say, okay, I'm going to purchase this property. I agree to purchase property. I will pay you back the deposit you paid, but the profit I request to hold it either in my lawyer or in your lawyer until final closing. Then I'll release to you. Theoretically, that is the best way, okay, to protect the buyer's interest. However, in most cases, the assignor will not agree, because the reason why he wants to sell it at this stage before the final closing is he wants to get the profit. He wants to walk away from deal, and then he wants to make he want to take the profit. That's why normally he want to get the money. Anyway, I put down this clause in case, say it. Now this also depends on the closing day, on how far is the final registry. If the property is you can the building is almost completed, 75, 70%, 80% completed, for sure the builder will not go down, or the project will not be completed. Then the profit, there shouldn't be the risk on the profit is very low. Or if property is already occupied, then pretty sure almost 100% you will get the final closing done, no problem. So you can release the profit to the assignor. But in some cases, as I explained before, if it's at a very early stage, like in the first year of a condo apartment, the assignor try to sell it, and then you still have 2 more years to complete the building, then there is a risk there that the project may not be complete. If that happens, and the assignor walks away, then the profit will be gone. You cannot get the profit back because it's not under any warranty. That's why we try to put in this. In your case, you cannot, during your negotiation, if you can successfully convince the assignor not to take that, then you can put this in. Otherwise, just take it out. Okay. Now what it says here is, notwithstanding anything contained herein to the contrary, both parties acknowledge and agree that the difference between items 1 and 2, we'll look at it later, okay? 1 and 2 in Section B shall be held in trust without interest by the assignee's lawyer or the assignor's lawyer, whatever appropriate, until the assignee has successfully completed transaction with the developer, according to the original APS. Okay, that is the final closing. Once final close, the title transferred to the assignee, then that amount of deposit, the difference between 1 and 2 is the profit made by the assignor. It will be released to the assignor. Okay, it's a rare case that the assignor will agree. Anyway, this is what we try to put it down, okay, to protect as a buyer agent, to protect the buyer. This is for the interest of the buyer. As I said, all the clauses we put it in are acting on behalf of the buyer, so not for the seller or the listing agent, okay. Now, let's look at Schedule B, okay. Now, this is standard form, okay. Now, item 1 is the total purchase price of the including the original APS. That means there's a purchase price the assignor is willing to sell to you. Say like, and now B is the purchase price, the original purchase price. That is what I said, the difference in that clause, the difference between items 1 and 2, okay? Now, for example, if item 2, the purchaser purchased it at 800,000, okay, and then now he's trying to sell it at 1 million. So the difference between this is 200,000. That is a profit the assignor is going to make, 200,000, and this is the amount. What I said, that is not protected by tenant warranty or by the APS, okay. Nothing. It's only a net profit made by the assignor. It's not mentioned in the original APS. It's not covered by the tenant warranty, okay. Now C, this is the deposit assignor paid to the builder already, okay. say like he paid 200,000 here, okay, already paid 200,000 deposit. Now, here's how you should return to them, okay. Look at here. Upon acceptance of this assignment agreement and receipt of consent from the seller, or upon final closing of original agreement, or as otherwise described here or elsewhere. So there are three choices here. But normally, and I would strongly suggest that you put down the first one as a buy agent. You put down the first one, and because upon this is a money on the paper that the assigner has paid to the developer. So upon closing of the transaction, once the transaction is closed, that means the builder has consented this assignment has been transferred to the assignee's name. Then in the builder's record, this deposit belongs to the assignee already. Doesn't belong to the assigner anymore. The assigner has nothing here, and so very naturally he has to get the money back, right? So once this assignment is completed, he has to get this 200,000 back. He cannot, otherwise, on paper he has nothing there. That's why normally upon final closing, this is I don't think he will agree to that, because the period from the assignment transaction up to the final closing may be 1 or 2 years long. Then what happened to his money? On paper, it's no more his money, so he must get the money back. This is not the profit. We are talking about the deposit. He has paid to the builder, so normally must be as one accepted assignment. Then you transfer to it, because legally the assignee has the money already from the builder, but legally the assigner does not have that money anymore, so he must need something back. Now, item 4. Payment by assignee to assign for this. This is the amount. Okay, now this is the sum of the profit, say here 200,000, and the deposit, say here like 200,000. He paid to the builder. So total would be 400,000, right? This is the amount. The profit plus the deposit the assigner has paid to the builder. In this case, our example, 400,000. Okay, 400,000. And then the item 5, deposit paid under this agreement. This is on the page 1, like a resale APS. On the page 1, what deposit you pay is like in the case if you has paid 20,000 deposit. Okay, 20,000. Then upon closing of this assignment agreement, the 400,000 minus 200, that means you have to pay 380,000. That will be the amount you are going to pay to the assignor upon closing of this assignment agreement, this transaction. Okay? So you must know how to fill up this all as a buy agent. Now, of course, you don't know how much exactly how much the original price of what you know that from the APS with the builder, but the deposit amount, how much, these are the things you have to check with the listing agent to find out the exact figure. He will provide you, and if you are the listing agent, you will have to find out all these figures before you list the property. Make sure you know the exact amount, because the buy agent will definitely ask you what the amounts are, then so that he can fill in and make the calculation. So you have to know this, okay? Fill out all these things. And then about if you are the listing agent, okay, now. So if you are the listing agent, apart from what I've told you, that you have to be very careful with the APS with the builder. You have to go through it very carefully. Make sure that you can put it on the market for sale. Make sure you can put it on the MLS, and then make sure that the builder will give a consent and what are the consent fee. Find out everything before you list a property. And when you put it on an MLS for sale, and then two things you have to be very careful. First thing is the property tax, because it's a pre-construction sale. Definitely, property tax is not the property. The property tax not yet assessed that you don't have a property tax. But on a sale, if you don't put down the property tax, you put down zero. You must explain. Otherwise, the trap regulation will give us a penalty, a fee. Okay, so you in the brokerage remarks column section, you must put down. First thing is this is an assignment sale. Okay, let people know that. Let the buyers know that this is an assignment sale. Then when they submit an offer, they know that they have to use Form 150 or Form 145. Okay, not the ordinary APS Form 100 or 101 for the condo. Okay, must be 145 or 150. They know this is an assignment sale. You have to use the assignment APS. Second thing is you must put down on the brokerage remark column section again that property tax not yet assessed. Property tax not yet assessed to avoid penalty from the trap. Because you put down this, then it's okay. You put down zero on the top of the MLS listing about how much of property tax, because in there you have to put down zero since you have nothing. But then you must need an explanation. If you don't have an explanation, trap will give us a penalty. Okay. Now these are the main things about this assignment of APS, and that will be the end of this seminar today. So if you have any questions, please give me a call, okay, or send me a message. I'm now in the office on every Monday and Thursday from 10 to 6 p.m., okay? So you can reach me anytime. And you have any problem, just don't hesitate to give me a call or send me a message, okay? Thank you very much, okay? And have a nice day.